You know, usually when we think about forgiveness, we kind of treat it like this, well, like a lofty, almost optional moral accessory.
Right. Like a bonus round.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Like a bonus round for being a good person. If you manage to actually forgive someone who wronged you,
Yeah.
you get, I don't know, extra credit on your cosmic report card.
Yeah, and if you don't, well, you're only human, you know? It's framed as this nice to have emotional luxury.
Totally. It's certainly not a strict requirement for just like waking up, getting your coffee, and going about your day.
No, we definitely see it as a hallmark of being the bigger person, but we rarely treat it as some kind of structural law of the universe.
Right. We think of it as an internal emotional choice.
Exactly, not a mechanical necessity like gravity or thermodynamics.
Well, today, for this deep dive, we are going to flip that entirely upside down. Welcome to the deep dive, by the way. We're so glad you're here with us.
So glad you're listening.
We are diving into a really fascinating, somewhat esoteric text from 2011.
Yeah, it's by an author named Xu Feng.
All right, and it's titled, Chanyuan Celestials Must Learn to Forgive Others. Now, really quick, I just want to say up front, we're not here to endorse or validate the very specific religious cosmology and spiritual framework in this text.
Right, we're definitely acting as impartial guides here.
Yes, just guides. We're just here to unpack the really intriguing internal logic of it. Okay, let's unpack this. In this system, forgiveness isn't just a nice moral idea.
Not at all.
It is presented as an absolute, non-negotiable law of physics for spiritual survival.
It's the literal toll you have to pay.
Yes, the toll to move forward in the universe.
It completely shifts the paradigm, right? Going from a choice to a mechanical necessity. And to understand why it's so urgent in this specific framework, we first have to look at how the author views time.
Oh, the time aspect is wild.
It really is, specifically the terrifying brevity of the human lifespan.
Yeah, the urgency is just palpable right from the start of the text. The author argues that human life is painfully, almost absurdly short.
Yeah, they say 100 years passes in a mere quote-unquote moment.
A moment. And because time is so heavily compressed, wasting it on anger isn't just bad for your mood.
It's a catastrophic misallocation of resources.
Exactly, of your very limited resources.
What's fascinating here is how the author uses a really striking poetic image to drive this home.
Oh, the nature quote.
Yeah, the text says, "The fungus plant of a morning knows not the alternation of day and night. The cicada knows not the alternation of spring and autumn."
Wow, we are the fungus.
We are the fungus and we are the cicada.
The argument is that we don't even have enough time in a human lifespan to properly pursue happiness, joy, and freedom.
Right, let alone waste our fleeting energy on hatred.
It's like, imagine you win an all-expenses-paid, incredibly short weekend vacation to your absolute dream destination.
Okay, like Paris.
Yeah, let's say it's just 48 hours in Paris. And instead of looking at the Eiffel Tower or sitting at a cafe, eating croissants.
As you should be doing.
Right. Instead of doing that, you spend 40 hours of that trip dragging around a massive, heavy suitcase completely full of rocks.
Oh, that's such a good way to put it.
Just complaining to anyone who will listen about how heavy the rocks are. Holding a grudge is like tacking a suitcase of rocks for a very short trip. Why waste the energy?
You simply do not have the time to be angry. It is fundamentally illogical within this view of time. The author is using the massive scale of nature to aggressively minimize our petty human grievances.
It's a massive perspective shift.
It is. When you view your entire life as a microscopic blip, the things that make you furious, like the coworker who took credit for your presentation or whoever.
Right, the guy who cut you off in traffic.
Exactly. They shrink down to absolute nothingness.
But wait, I do have to push back here a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Isn't anger sometimes a natural, even protective response to injustice, though?
That's a fair point.
Like if someone crosses a serious boundary or wrongs you deeply, anger is the internal alarm system that says, hey, a boundary was crossed. How does this framework deal with valid grievances? Is it just a mathematical waste of time?
Well, within Sheffing's framework, the answer to that really comes down to where we are supposedly situated in the universe.
Okay, where are we?
Life isn't just a short vacation in Paris. It is a strictly scheduled transit phase.
A transit phase?
Yeah, you literally don't have time to process the fairness of a grievance because you have a flight to catch. You are basically sitting in a cosmic airport.
Oh, wow. So if we're in an airport, what is the itinerary? Like, where exactly are we going?
So the text introduces a highly detailed cosmic map to explain this. The author claims to come from what is called the thousand-year world.
The thousand-year world.
Right, and this is described as the lowest space of heaven. It is a realm where hatred fundamentally does not exist.
Redhall.
At all. There is only happiness, joy, and freedom. And it doesn't stop there. There is a whole ascending progression.
A map to heaven.
Exactly. From the thousand-year world, you can graduate to the 10,000-year world, and eventually up to the Elysium world with its various island archipelagos.
It's so structured. It's not just some abstract, cloudy heaven. It's a tiered system with very specific destinations.
Very specific.
It feels almost like leveling up in a video game.
Yeah, it really does have that progression mechanic. But to get on that ladder in the first place, you have to pass through what the author calls the second home.
The new oasis for life.
Right. This is described as an earthly transfer station, a literal physical space here on Earth where everything is copied and practiced according to the rules of heaven.
So it's an exclusive airport lounge.
Basically, yes. And there is a profound psychological utility to that specific architecture.
How so?
Well, by creating a physical transfer station on Earth, this second home, the framework makes the completely abstract concept of heaven tangible for the followers, whom the text calls Chanyuan celestials.
Because usually heaven is this cloudy, ineffable concept. It's easy to say, oh, I'll be a good person eventually, maybe on my deathbed.
Exactly. But if you believe you are currently standing in the earthly simulation of heaven, it forces you to practice heavenly behavior in real time. It's an immediate behavioral modifier.
So you're in the lounge waiting for your flight, and you have to abide by the lounge rules. It's a dress rehearsal for heaven.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. If this is a dress rehearsal for a heaven without hatred, they can't just let anyone in.
No, they cannot.
There has to be a filter at the door. And that toll, the price of admission, is forgiveness.
The text explicitly states that forgiving others is the absolute minimum requirement to enter heaven.
Minimum requirement.
If you carry hatred, the door does not open,
No.
period. You are stuck outside the simulation.
And the logic the author uses to justify this requirement is actually incredibly grounded in empathy.
It is, yeah.
The text points out a very simple truth. Nobody is perfect.
Right, we're all flawed.
Therefore, over the course of a lifetime, we are inevitably going to hurt other people, and we are inevitably going to be hurt by other people.
It's just statistical probability.
Yeah, it's the friction of human existence.
And because that friction is unavoidable, the author argues that taking revenge for those inevitable hurts is purely an act of vanity.
Pure vanity.
It provides a temporary satisfaction to the ego, sure, but it inherently damages your spiritual growth. Or, as the text translates it, it damages the sublimation of life quality.
Sublimation, let's break that down because it tells us exactly how this framework views the physics of holding a grudge.
Yeah, chemically speaking.
Right. In chemistry, sublimation means turning a heavy, dense solid directly into a light gas.
Exactly.
So the text is implying that holding on to revenge keeps your energy solid, heavy, and dense. It ties you to the earth.
While forgiving someone sublimates you.
Yes. It turns you into a lighter energy that can actually float up to the thousand-year world. Anger just makes you too heavy to take off.
The gravity of resentment keeps you grounded. And this raises an important question, which leads to one of the most psychologically sharp insights in the entire text.
The hero trap.
The hero trap. The author specifically warns the reader against trying to be a hero through revenge. The text argues that retaliation actually makes you look, quote, mean and narrow-minded, and hinders your ability to get along with the masses.
But wait, I have to jump in here. Doesn't our entire society usually reward the quote-unquote hero who fights back?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, think about every blockbuster action movie. We culturally glorify vengeance as a virtue. Zhu Feng completely flips the script here, saying it actually makes you look narrow-minded.
We do glorify it. We rebrand vengeance as justice or honor, but the psychological danger the text is pointing out is that revenge is almost always a trap of the ego.
So true.
The desire to be the hero who strikes back is ultimately about proving your own superiority. It's a disguise for our own vanity.
Think about, like, drafting a scathing reply-all email at work.
Oh, we've all been there.
Right. Someone CCs your boss on a mistake you made, and your immediate reaction is to spend 45 minutes crafting the perfect, passive-aggressive response with attached receipts.
Yes, you hit send, and for about 5 minutes, you feel like an absolute hero.
You balance the scales, but what did it cost you? It costs you your peace, your focus, and an hour of your 100-year moment.
In the process of proving your superiority, you anchored yourself to the pain. From the perspective of this framework, by trying to be the hero, you are lowering your life quality.
You're staying a heavy solid.
Right. Instead of sublimating, you are failing the entrance exam to the transfer station.
Because you're proving you don't know how to exist in a space without friction. If you need enemies to prove you are a hero, you can't exist in a realm where hatred doesn't exist. You'd be out of a job.
Your identity would be tied to the conflict, making you totally incompatible with heaven.
So what does this all mean for us in reality, though? We can sit here and talk about cosmic transfer stations and chemical sublimation, but human emotions are stubborn.
Extremely stubborn.
What happens if you try to forgive someone, but you just genuinely, deeply cannot stand them?
Well, the author actually offers a surprisingly grounded, practical compromise for this exact scenario.
Yeah, it's not entirely idealistic.
No, the text recognizes human limits. It knows we are flawed, dense creatures. The compromise is basically this. If you cannot love your enemy, then at the very least do not hate them.
Right.
If you cannot get along with them, at least ensure there is no fight.
It's a baseline of absolute neutrality. It's like an energetic diet. You don't have to love eating broccoli, just don't actively drink poison.
Exactly. It is a harm reduction model for spirituality, and it comes with energetic rewards. The author writes that if you can manage this, it brightens you up, brings in true energy, and broadens the road forward.
But let's say hatred is a fire. Loving your enemy is like trying to put out their fire with your bare hands.
Yeah.
You'll probably get burned.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
So the author's saying if you can't put their fire out, at least stop throwing your own wood on it. Neutrality starves the fire of oxygen. But I do wonder, is that actually true forgiveness? Or is it just strategic avoidance?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, whether it is deep emotional forgiveness or just strategic avoidance, might actually be beside the point.
Really?
Yeah, the goal is the preservation of energy. If strategic avoidance starves the fire and stops the cycle of hatred, it fulfills the requirement for the transfer station.
I see.
And what's notable is how the author validates this pragmatic approach. They appeal to authority, noting this aligns with the teachings of Jesus Christ and Buddha Sakyamuni, alongside their own experiences.
Bringing in Jesus and Buddha completely reframes those historical figures. It treats them less like moral philosophers and more like energetic pragmatists.
The author is synthesizing major world religions into a practical formula for protecting one's mental energy. It isn't just about being good, it's about not imploding.
It's universal energy preservation. Don't waste your moment as a cicada. Don't carry the heavy suitcase around Paris.
Choose the lightness of the 1,000-year world.
Exactly. And that brings us right back to you listening to this right now. Think about a grudge you might be holding on to today.
We all have them.
We do. Is it acting like a roadblock for your own true energy? Is it eating up a precious chunk of your 100-year moment?
Is the fleeting vanity of wanting to be the hero really worth the crushing weight of the rocks in your suitcase?
That's the real question.
And there is one final provocative thought to consider here. The author states that the earthly second home is a perfect copy of the 1,000-year world, where no hatred can exist.
Right.
But if a single resident in this earthly transfer station fails to forgive and harbors hatred, what happens? Does the entire simulated heaven crash like a computer with a virus?
Wow.
It makes you wonder if creating heaven on earth requires a perfection that is entirely contrary to the human nature the author admits is flawed.
That is a heavy, incredible question to leave off on. If you're holding a grudge today, maybe try dropping the suitcase. Starve the fire of oxygen, just to see how light you feel. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into fleeting time, the vanity of revenge, and cosmic transfer stations. We will catch you on the next one.